Welcome in, everybody, to a Thursday live stream for the Outfielders, for the off-season outlook. We're going to take a look at the Outfielders left, center, and right. We're not going to break it up over three streams. We're going to look at everybody. So it is a ton of players that we're going to be talking about. We've got the team needs. We've got the players that are available. We have all of that. We're going to dive into all of it. But very first thing, very importantly, get some hype live in the chat. Ryan, happy birthday, my friend. Get some live love in the chat for Ryan. Give him some happy birthday. We are going to do this thing like we've done every other position. We've done catcher, first, second, short, and third. We move to the outfield. Next week, we will do the pitchers. But we're going to take a look at the outfielders. We're going to find out where, who's available, who fits in what spot, and all that. We'll make some predictions that are sure to go wrong, but we will do our very best at that. And like we always do, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. If you're new, stay close to the channel. Make sure you hit the alerts so you know when we go live. Right now, we go live every day at 11 o'clock in the morning on the East. We will be switching that up a little bit, starting to do some nighttime streams. We're going to bring the nightcaps back. So those will start happening in the next couple weeks. So make sure, again, you subscribe, hit the alert so you know when we go live. Let's dig into, let's bring the music down a little bit, and let's get into the available outfielders. Now, it's a ton. So just, you probably have maybe an outfielder or two in mind, and you might not see them on the board that I'm going to put up. There's 100 of them, okay? We obviously are not going to talk about 100 of them, but we're going to talk about a bunch of them. And again, quick shout outs to everybody that is here with me live early. ECK, Steve, Ryan, Tim, Jose, Ham Fam, Derek, Tim, Chelston. Thank you guys for being here right off the bat, active in the chat. Let's get into it. The outfielders that are available. We go left, center, right. Or no, this is right, center, left. I don't even remember what it is. But the center fielders are in the middle. Let's go. Mark Canna, Kyle Schwarber, Eddie Rosario, Tommy Pham, Andrew McCutchen, Jock Peterson, Corey Dickerson, Starling Martay, Adam Duvall, Chris Taylor, Brett Gardner, Kevin Pillar, Nick Castellanos, Avisail Garcia, Michael Conforto, Cole Calhoun, Jorge Soler, and Chris Bryant are the outfielders that we're going to focus. We're going to place each and every one of them into a new team or a new situation in 2022. So we're going to get to that in just a minute. But before we do that, let's take a look at the teams that need an outfielder. Now listen, here is the mishmash of teams that need an outfielder. They need one. You may not see your team on here, and you're thinking, well, wait, my team needs an outfielder. You may need an upgrade. You may want an upgrade. Your team may have a want, not a need. These teams need an outfielder. Again, your team may not be on here and you want an outfielder. There will be teams, when we're moving players around and placing them, that will get a player that is not on this page because, they want to make that upgrade. Or they're going to, just add some depth. Or they're going to slide somebody that they have at outfield right now to DH. Or they're going to get one of these outfielders and make them a DH. So here's the teams that need the outfielder: Cleveland, Oakland, Texas, New York, Atlanta, Miami, Cincy, San Fran, Milwaukee, Arizona, Philly, Detroit, Chicago, Pittsburgh, Colorado, San Diego, and Washington, in my opinion, need an outfielder. Now, you look at a team like San Diego. If you look at their depth chart, you could maybe make an argument that they don't need one, but I think they do. In some cases, the upgrade is the need. San Diego could not go out there with the current situation they have for that outfield. Jurickson Profar cannot be the starting left fielder for the San Diego Padres. Again, welcome to everybody that is in live. You guys are coming in strong today, and I love it. Lionheart, Raul, NLB, good to see you. Good to see you all in here. So let's take a look at this. And yes, we do not have the Mariners on that list, Ryan. It is not a need. You guys are set at outfield. The only thing maybe you would do, and I don't even think you need to do that. You don't have an upgrade. You don't have Haniger. You got Haniger, J-Rod, Kyle Lewis, Jared Kelenic. Yeah, you're good. So Mariners are a great example. Teams that are not on the list that again, some people might be looking for. We do not have Houston. I think Houston's going to probably roll with the center fielder. They're going to go with Myers or McCormick. The White Sox are set. The Yankees, I know the Yankees would like probably to bring in a new outfielder, but listen, Gallo's a Gold Glover. Hudson Sports Cards, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcat Nation. Thank you for that quick and early sub on the stream. Anybody that's here that has not subbed yet, make sure to subscribe. Stay close to the channel. Hit the alerts so you know when we go live. We have the schedule when we go live, right? 11 o'clock in the morning on the East, 8 in the West. But when things happen, when players change hands, when players are traded, when free agent signings are done, if I'm not putting a child to bed or out at the store or away, if I'm in the house, we're going live and we're going to talk about it. So you want to hit those alerts so you can hop in and we can all react and I can get your thoughts. Because again, you guys are Ballcap Nation. You make this channel go. So when we go live, I'm going live so you guys know what I have to say, but I really want to know what you guys have to say. So let's get into some of the players. Let's highlight some players. First up is Kris Bryant. We talked about him yesterday for third base as well, but Kris Bryant with a nice bounce back season in 2021 after a lot of people wanted to write him off after 2020. I was not one of them. Anybody that's been with the channel since last year knows I was on the Kris Bryant bandwagon. I knew he would have a bounce back season. I think what we got in 2021 is who he's going to be moving forward. I think he is a 25 to 30 homer guy. He's a mid 800 OPS guy. He's probably not going to hit 300, but can he hit you 265 to 280? Yeah. And the versatility is huge. So we have Kris Bryant in the mix here. We also have Mark Canna, who I honestly think is one of the more underrated players in all of baseball. I really like Mark Canna. One of the things that I fall in love with for a baseball player is when their on-base percentage is 100 points higher than their batting average. And Mark Canna goes above and beyond that. The last 3 seasons, he's living at 120 to 130 points higher with his on-base percentage than his batting average. I absolutely love that. So Mark Canna, in my opinion, is one of the more underrated players in baseball. Doesn't hit for a high batting average, but he makes up for that. He is a baseball player. He's a guy that you want on your team. He's a guy that if you're not paying attention, he comes up to bat, we got him. We got him. And then he grinds out an at-bat. He ends up on first. He drives the pitcher crazy. I just love Mark Canna. I can't say it enough. I think Mark Canna is a great baseball player. Let's look at the next outfielder, Nick Castellanos, becoming one of the best hitters in the National League, in my opinion. 34 homers last year, a 939 OPS, 100 runs driven in, 95 runs scored. Nick Castellanos, entering his age 30 season, is going to be looking to get paid. Opting out was smart. He can now go to a guaranteed winning situation, and instead of locking in for 2 more years with Cincy and then coming out heading into his age 32 season, he's heading into his age 30 season, so he can try to get a 5 or 6 year deal at big money. Big money for Nick Castellanos coming. We like Nick Castellanos. He's good. He's one of the best free agents out there now. Next up, Michael Conforto, coming off a down year in 2021. There's talk that there was some COVID side effects, but he had the worst season that he's really ever put out. The 232 average, the 729 OPS goes back to 2016 when he had a sophomore slump. Bad year. Just a bad year. Write it off. He spent some time. He was hurt. So we don't really judge Michael Conforto on what he did in 2021. We judge him on those 2017 to 2019 seasons. So we'll talk about where Conforto could go. But I think somebody's going to get a really good outfielder. Does he stay in New York or will he go somewhere else is what we're going to dig into. Next up, Starling Martay, heading into his age 33 season, but I think he's still got a lot. 47 steals in 2021 at the age of 32. He's not slowing down. That tied a career high that he set when he was 27. We like Starling Martay here. This is a guy that I was just outside my top 10. If I were giving you the top 15, Starling Martay would have been in that 11 to 15 range when I did my top 10 free agent video. Starling Martay, a good player, good defensively, great on the base paths, still has a chance to hit that 20 homer mark. Martay does great things. He's a 30 double guy. Starling Martay does everything well. He's a leader. Came through Pittsburgh on those Pittsburgh teams that started to win, and then when it was over, he was done there. So Martay, we move on. Next outfielder, Kyle Schwarber, bounced back in 2021 big time. And there were a few guys that I attached myself to last offseason. Chris Bryant was one of them. Kyle Schwarber was another that you knew it was coming. He was going to hit 30 home runs with his eyes closed in 2021. Posted a 928 OPS. This is a player that rises to the occasion. He's the kind of guy that if you doubt him, he will prove you wrong. Kyle Schwarber is becoming one of my favorite baseball players, period. 30 homer guy, 900 OPS guy, was right to opt out because now he can get a big payday. The Cubs just letting him walk was a foolish move. What he did in 2020 was not indicative of the player that he had shown to be. That 2019 Schwarber is what I was looking at when I was projecting his 2021 season, and that's we got the 2019 Schwarber back. So Kyle Schwarber is a monster and making a name for himself as a clutch playoff performer as well. So we have Schwarber, and then our final outfielder that we will focus on is Chris Taylor. He can also play some shortstop. We talked about him when we did our shortstop video the other day. 20 homers last year, 782 OPS. Chris Taylor is, with his versatility and what he can do with the bat, is, you can't call him underrated because he's playing in LA. Everybody knows him, but a great baseball player. He is going to give you that 775 to 850 OPS. He can hit 20 home runs. He can play multiple positions. Entering his age 30 season, coming off his first All-Star appearance, I think more years are in store for us and whoever gets Chris Taylor, more years like 2021 than years like 2019, just the 12 homers. I think he's going to be a 20 homer guy moving forward. And again, that versatility is huge. So we talk about Taylor. Apple Plays, we will get to Duvall. I don't have a slide for him. I don't have a feature slide for everybody because we talked about it earlier with the available outfielders. We could literally be here for an hour going through the slides and with me talking about people. We will certainly talk about Adam Duvall. We'll talk about where he could wind up. But those are the big outfielders. And then, of course, there's not even, we haven't even sniffed the trades that could go down. I think there will be a handful of trades. Do the Blue Jays include an outfielder in a trade with Cleveland? Does Tampa trade Kevin Kearmeyer as he sort of gets up there in age, starts to make more money with how deep that outfield is? Is Kearmeyer on the move? Do the Twins put Byron Buxton out there? Byron Buxton has been dangled in the trade wins for a while now, for about a year. So we'll talk about Byron Buxton. We'll get into the trades in a minute. But first, what we're going to do, keeping in line with what we do with all of these, is we're going to try to make some predictions. We're going to put some players on some teams, and we're going to do it a little differently this time. Last time, I had the board. We usually had like 5 or 6 teams, and we put a player on a team. We have too many players to do that. I do like Jorge Soler, Nicholas. I do. I think Jorge Soler is, what's there not to like? I really like Jorge Soler. Let's get to it. Let me find my screen here. We're going to pull up the player board. So we got the player board. We got the teams. I have my predictions. I have my thoughts. But I'll also lean on you guys. All right? Let's give this a go. You guys comment. We're going to start at the top left, and we're going to move our way around. This is, if you're live, you're with me, you're going to like this. If you're watching the recording after the fact, maybe this part you'll be like, you'll wish you were here anyway. Where are we putting Mark Canna? Where does Mark Canna go? Here's my feeling for Mark. I think we move him, and I think Mark Canna ends up as a Tiger. I think Mark Canna follows his buddy Robbie Grossman. I think he goes and bolsters that outfield. I think it's a quality move that can add on. I think signing Mark Canna does not prevent them from making a splash and trying to go get Carlos Correa or anybody like that, because Mark Canna, you probably give him a 2 or 3, probably a 3-year deal for Mark Canna before maybe the money really kicks in if you make a splash with Correa or Story or somebody like that. So you can get Canna off the books in time for Correa's money or whoever's money to really get jacked up. Let me see. You guys have Blue Jays. You like San Francisco. You know what, Ryan? I really thought about San Francisco too. Hey, fam, I don't know if Canna's going to stay. Oakland is giving all the indications that they don't want to spend any money. They want to go in a different direction. Now, I know, that's via trade. They want to get some prospects back, and, Canada didn't get him any prospects. But some love for the Giants. I thought about Giants as well. That was a very intriguing one. Ultimately, I go Detroit. We do have San Francisco getting somebody. We'll get to that in a couple of players. Let's move on to Kyle Schwarber. Where does Schwarber go? Hit it in the chat. Where do you see Schwarber? I am going to go. So here's how this works. Here's how it looks, guys. These teams at the top up here, Houston to Kansas City, these are the teams that really don't need an outfielder. These are the teams that maybe could be looking for an upgrade or could move somebody to DH to make room, or just moving positions around. I'm putting Schwarber on the Red Sox. Actually, I think I might have a couple Red Sox, so we got to get a second logo here. I like Schwarber to Boston. I like him to go back. I think he could play first base. I think what's fresh in everybody's mind is that error that he made in the postseason. I think that was a forced error by Jose Altuve. Schwarber was trying to move too fast, so he dropped the ball. I think Schwarber could play first base. It's a major upgrade over Bobby Dahlbeck. I don't know. Bobby Dahlbeck maybe gets traded for a pitching prospect. The Red Sox also have Cassis there. And Schwarber, listen, JD Martinez will be a free agent at the end of this season, at the end of the 2022 season. So, maybe Schwarber gets some time. He adds depth. The fact that Kike Hernandez can play second base and the outfield makes it all kind of work. So I like him going to the Red Sox. Ryan's got him to the Brewers. Tim has him to Cleveland. Cliff, Jays need a lefty bat. I agree with you, Cliff. The thing about Schwarber and the Blue Jays, it only happens if the Blue Jays are trading Gurriel or Grichuk away. That's the only way they end up getting in the mix for a guy like Schwarber or Conforto or Rosario, is if there is a trade that happens sooner rather than later, sending away one of their outfielders. So I like him going to Boston. Ian, he says no NL team till he knows there will be a universal DH. There you go. So we're going to have him back in Boston. And Tyler Karsick, I hope I got that right. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. Thank you for subscribing. I heard it in my ear. It's blocked by the player board here, but I see it on the feed. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation, Tyler. Thank you. The Mets certainly could be a play, Nicholas, for sure. If the Mets are not going to get Conforto back, Schwarber makes sense. But I guess the question there, and the reason why I didn't put Schwarber on the Mets is I wonder about Michael Conforto. I wonder about Dom Smith. Dom Smith is also a lefty, left fielder. Schwarber and Dom Smith sort of profile is the same player. Obviously, Schwarber's a better player than Dom Smith. Ryan Gans has subscribed. Ryan, thank you for the sub. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. I see you there. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining. And Tyler and Hudson Sports Cards, thank you guys for some early subs here today, for joining our community that we're building. I love it. So Schwarber certainly could go to the Jays, certainly could go to the Mets. I'm going to pick that he goes back to Boston. Let's move on. Eddie Rosario is my next pick, and I am going to send Eddie Rosario to... No, I'm kidding. To maybe. No, I'm not doing it. I'm going to send Eddie Rosario to the Padres. I think that is the move. I think Eddie Rosario goes to San Diego. They need to bolster that outfield. Tommy Pham is gone. They cannot go through a season with Jurickson Profar in left field. Eddie Rosario to San Diego. Don't worry, Atlanta fans. I got you in this. Don't worry. I do think the Braves are going to be a finalist. But I think San Diego, feeling the pressure to improve the team, San Diego might go a little bit higher, especially if they can get some money off the books with Eric Hosmer. So we will, at least initially, put Eddie Rosario on the Padres. He becomes the new left fielder. San Diego could do a lot. San Diego this offseason could trade Myers. They could trade Hosmer, could free up some money to give to Rosario. Yorkie Gonzalez has subscribed. Yorkie, thank you for the sub. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. Welcome to our community that we're building here. I appreciate it. Let's go to Mets Talk with Hayden. Good to see you in. Let's see, where we go. We're going to Tommy Pham. Tommy Pham, listen, the Rangers are going to get active. They're going to spend some money. They're going to bring a player in. They're going to try to upgrade the team. I like Tommy Pham to wind up in Texas. I don't think it's a long deal. It's probably a 1 or 2 year deal. Texas looks at it like, hey, this is a guy that if he does well, we could trade him for prospects. I don't think Texas might go the other way. In my opinion, it would be foolish for Texas to spend out right now because I don't think they're ready yet. I think Texas is a couple more years away. So Tommy Pham is sort of a fill the gap guy for the Rangers. Pedro, you have Rosario staying in Atlanta. Again, I think Atlanta will be a finalist, but don't you worry. Atlanta is going to make out okay here in this situation. I think you guys will be happy how it works out, Atlanta fans. Let's get there. All right, McCutchen is next on the board. Where's McCutchen going to go? Maybe a reunion? I don't think so. I'm sorry, Pittsburgh fans. I'm going to stop dangling the Pirates. I think McCutchen goes to the Cubs. It feels like a move. Listen, the Cubs are, they get Wade Miley. They're not going to totally bag the season. They're going to sign a player or two. And I think McCutchen is a nice piece. I think the Cubs will be in the mode to bring in guys that can make them competitive, can give them 1 or 2 good years, and then they move on. Similar to how Pham will be a gap guy with the Rangers, McCutchen could be a gap guy with the Cubs. It could be the guy, provide some leadership. Maybe when they call up some of their prospects, he's there to help sort of mentor them. So I think McCutchen could be a Chicago Cub for a season. Next up, it's Jock Peterson. Jock Peterson, I don't know why, but I just love the idea of him going to South Beach. I don't know why. I love Jock Peterson down there in Miami. 2-year deal. Miami could use an upgrade in the outfield. So I'm going to put Jock with the Marlins. I just don't. Now Jock could get into trouble in South Beach, but we give it a try. And I think that we have Jock Peterson down in Miami. Let's get to Corey Dickerson next. Robert, you like Jock to the Padres. That could happen too. That could certainly happen too. The similar logic to Rosario could be Jock going to the Padres. Mets Talk with Hayden. What confuses me is the Rangers just shipped away Gibson and Gallo during the trade deadline, which says they're taking a different route in rebuilding phase. Yeah, exactly. And now rumors say they want to add. Yeah, I don't know if the Rangers know what they're doing. Okay, let's get to Corey Dickerson. Corey Dickerson is a nice piece. I think Corey Dickerson ends up on the Washington Nationals. The Nats are going to make some veteran moves, some players that can, again, help bring some of the younger guys along. I like Corey Dickerson in the mix here. You can put him in left, you can put him in right, so you can put Soto wherever you want to put Soto. They moved Soto to right last year so that they could have Schwarber in left. You could do Dickerson in left or right and get Soto in a comfortable spot. Corey Dickerson just feels like a Nats move right now. And with Dickerson, he'll get to play in Washington. If he goes to, a contender, somebody that's looking to win, he'll end up in another platoon role like he did with the Blue Jays. So I think Dickerson takes the move to the Nats, where he can play every day and do well there. Okay, let's see here. All right, let's get to Starling Martay. Braves fans, where you at? Atlanta fans, I told you, I think you're going to be happy with how things play out here. Atlanta needs a center fielder. Atlanta needs a center fielder more than they need a left fielder or a right fielder. I think they need a center fielder. And I think they go get Starling Martay. I think Marte wants to win. He can go to Atlanta and win. He can be their center fielder. You pair him with Acuna. We'll make another move for the Braves for left field in a minute. But I like Marte in Atlanta. Where do you guys like Marte to go? Robert, you have him going to Seattle. I don't think Seattle's going to do it, Robert. They're full. They are loaded with. They are loaded in the outfield right now. Acuna playing center when he comes back. But don't you? I think Braves fans, that might be in here. Do you like Acuna in center? I think it could work, but would you rather Acuna in right? Brian, you have Duvall. Apple plays. You want Eddie in left, Marte in center, Acuna in right with Soler as the DH. We will see that could work. That could certainly work. Acuna in center, Soler in right, Eddie in left from Ian. CJ, I do like Jock Peterson from Miami, but I think Garcia is better. That could work. That too. Now, let's see. Do I have any other plays for Miami? The thing is with Jock, if Miami gets Jock, it could be one of a couple moves. Steve, you like Acuna, right. Marte to the Red Sox. Pedro, that's my other team for Marte. If I'm picking another team for Starling Marte, it's the Red Sox. I have on my notes Boston and Atlanta on my notes for Starling Marte. I think those two teams make the most sense for him. Hayden can see Mets, Phillies, or Red Sox. Apple plays Acuna needs to stay in right. Playing center ruins his legs. That's what I'm saying. And Apple plays is one of our go-to Braves fans. So that went into your comments in the chat went into my thinking when I picked Marte for the Braves in center field. Where was Marte? He was playing in Oakland. He was playing in center field for Oakland. Remember, Laureano got suspended. All right, let's move to Adam Duvall. So, Braves fans, I think I made you relatively happy with the Marte moves. This one you might not like so much. I'm going to put Adam Duvall on the Giants. Feels like a Giants move. I think he replaces sort of Chris Bryant's production. Chris Bryant was playing all over the outfield for the Giants. Duvall can do something similar. So I feel like I already have. You guys have been watching the channel. I'm not bringing Bryant back to San Francisco. So Duvall is the play for the Giants. Feels kind of Giantsy. Where do you think he goes? I like him in San Francisco. Ryan, you have Duvall. Either the Phillies or going back to Miami. Joe, Rosario and Soler will get 2-year deals and Duvall will get arbitration. Ian, you're good with that. I like San Francisco as the Duvall fit. Helps the lineup. Keeps that Chris Bryant production in there. Shouldn't prevent them from bringing back Belt or bringing in the starting pitching that they need to do. So we have Duvall as the pick for San Francisco. Okay, next up. We talked about it yesterday or 2 days ago. I like Chris Taylor to be, and I know that's hard to see, but that's the Rockies. I like the Rockies to make a random grab this offseason, and I think they could throw a bunch of money off Chris Taylor. Charlie Blackmon's contract is coming off the books, I believe, at the end of this year, so they'll have some money to play with. They may not bring John Gray back, which, that would be a big miss. I think Chris Taylor would be a nice move for the Rockies. The Rockies didn't suck last year. So the Rockies could look at it like, hey, we could be the Giants. We could do what the Giants did. Maybe not to the same degree, 107 wins, win the division, but make a playoff push, be a lot better than people think that we could be. So I have Chris Taylor being a nice add for the Rockies. Pedro, you like him staying in LA? I think the money would be the LA re-signs him if you were to put money on it. The Chris Taylor to the Rockies is a long shot move. Did Taylor? Yes, he did. I do believe that I did see that. Taylor would be nice on the Jays. Chris Taylor would be a lot in a lot of spots because of his versatility. All right, next up, Brett Gardner. Mark, you got Chris Taylor staying in LA. I think there's a very good chance for that. Everybody, hit the like if you haven't hit the like yet. I think we're chilling around 26 or so. Can we get to 40? We do have 84 people in here. Can we jump this thing? Can we jumpstart the like count blow past 30, wave past 30, and get to 40. If you haven't used your like yet, and if you're enjoying this content, you're enjoying what we're doing, hit that like. It's a great way to show your support. CJ is awesome. You can see Duvall to the Nats. It could. The Nats are in a tricky spot, though. I don't know if the Nats... do the Nats think that they can win? I don't know. And the last thing they want to do is sign somebody. It would have to be a short-term deal because Soto's going to start making money. They say they want to extend him. You wouldn't want anything in the way of them re-signing Soto. So that'd be interesting. Pedro, thank you for hitting the like. Mets Talk with Hayden, thank you for the like. Appreciate that. So Brett Gardner. I'm not putting a team next to his name because Brett Gardner, in my opinion, is going to retire. I think he does not go back to New York. I think this is the year where the Yankees move on. I think, and we got Briar Coley. Thank you for the sub. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. Welcome to our community. I'm happy to have you here. So we have Brett Gardner retiring. That's it. It's done. Brett Gardner moves on and he retires. Maybe if the Yankees get into a crazy injury situation, maybe we end up with Brett Gardner back, but I am going to have him as retired. Or the Yankees have a run of injuries and he signs in like August or something with the Yankees. Because, right, I don't see him in anything but pinstripes. I don't think he wants to play anywhere else. Let's move on to Kevin Pillar, Superman. I think it feels like an Oakland kind of move. They are going to look for some production. They're going to look for a good player. They are not going to want to spend a ton of money. You can bring Kevin Pillar in on a 1 or 2 year deal, maybe give him a 1 year deal with a club option, depending on how he does. You give him that club option, so maybe he's a little bit more attractive at the trade deadline because whoever's trading for him could be getting a second year. I like Kevin Pillar. Feels like an Oakland move. They're not going to spend big money. It's one of the reasons I have Canna going to Detroit. It just feels like Kevin Pillar, Oakland. It matches. It makes sense. It works. He'll give him 20 homers. He'll give him some good outfield. You can play him in left center or right. You'll have Laureano back at some point next year in center field, so you can move Pillar to the corner outfield, and he can do a good job for you there. Kevin Pillar, I see him going to Oakland. He'll be able to play pretty regularly over there. Won't cost a lot of money. Ian with the comment there, Billy Bean doesn't spend money. I don't think Pillar is going to cost a lot of money, so we can do that. And Mets Talk with Hayden, you also feel like Pillar could go to the A's. Mark Bennett doesn't see Pillar with the A's. I mean, just think about it, Mark. We know the A's are not going to spend a lot of money. They're not going to look to get stuck into any long-term contracts with any vets. Kevin Pillar has basically, the last 3 or 4 years, been running on, running from team to team. So Pillar is okay with it. A 1 year deal. So I feel like Pillar goes to Oakland. Pillar is a trooper. Took 93 miles an hour to the face. Yes, he did. And then he was back in regular quick order. Let's move on to Nick Castellanos. Where do you guys like Nick Castellanos? Where does he go? I'm going to give you mine in just a second. I want to give you guys a chance in the chat to hit your comment. Where do you want Castellanos? He's next up on the board. Where do you want Castellanos? Macon 25TM has subscribed. Macon, thank you for the sub. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. Thank you for joining this community that we're building. I appreciate it. And we are over 100 viewers. Thank you guys for all being here, being a part of this chat. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I'm actually having a blast right now. Let's see. Anthony, you've got Miami. Siciliano, you got the Yankees. Robert, you got Nick going to the Marlins. Jack to the Tigers. Thomas, you feel like he's going to the Dodgers. Apple Plays would love him to be the left fielder for the Braves. Nicholas to Miami. Jack to the Giants. Keep it coming. Where do you guys feel Nick Castellanos goes? He's, again, one of the best hitters in baseball right now. Where do you want him to go? Jack's got the Giants. All right. I think Mark's got the Cardinals. I will explain. Nobody has said this in the chat yet, but I think Nick Castellanos. No, sorry. I hope there's no Pittsburgh fans in here because I'm really just dangling that. Philly. I think Castellanos goes to the Phillies. We got Bam with the Mariners, Albert with the Mets, Mark with the White Sox. I think it ends up with the Phillies. And here's why. The Phillies are going to get somebody. The Phillies, in my opinion, will either get Bryant, Castellanos, or Rizzo. Castellanos fits into that outfield. They didn't get Bryce Harper, sign him to that mega contract for a decade to finish in third place every year. So Nick Castellanos is a big splash that they can make to improve that roster. You have Harper, you have Castellanos, you have the righty-lefty matchup. Castellanos is going to want to win. I feel like some of these teams, I think the Dodgers, I think he's going to be, this might sound crazy, I think he might be too much for the Dodgers. In the Dodgers outfield right now, you got Mookie Betts, you got Bellinger, you've got, Pollock. I know Pollock doesn't play every day, but I just feel like Castellanos and the Phillies, he can win that NL East. Depending on what the Braves do, it will be competitive again, but could be up for grabs. So we are going to see. I got to look at that's the second comment about Adam Duvall has arbitration. Adam Duvall had an option. He declined the option. Is he on arbitration? I thought that Adam Duvall had a mutual option that he declined. Somebody can check that for me. Fact check me live if you want. Is he really on arbitration? He had the mutual option that he declined. I thought he was a unrestricted free agent. So I have Castellanos with the Phillies. Matthew, Nick Castellanos is my top choice for the Phillies to spend money the most on. I do. I think they will spend that money and they will go get him. Steve with the lookup. Steve has no arbitration on that. Okay. 2-0 legend. You have Conforto to the Brewers. That will certainly be a fit. We are close. No arbitration, says Thomas. Let's see. Yeah, I think he's an unrestricted free agent. He wouldn't have had an option otherwise to decline. Let's go. Oh, wait a minute. Who just said that? Tim Brewer, ladies and gentlemen, calls my pick, Avisail Garcia, to the Cleveland Indian Guardians. The Guardian Indians of Cleveland. Whatever we want to call them. I think we can call Cleveland whatever the hell we want at this point. The Cleveland whatevers. I have the Avisail Garcia going to the Cleveland whatevers. I think that bolsters their team. I don't think they need to give him a crazy long deal but if he plays well, if he does what he did in Milwaukee with Cleveland, it's a major upgrade for Cleveland. They can fit themselves into the mix for that Central, which I think will be available. So Garcia goes and improves that Cleveland lineup. Shouldn't cost an insane amount of money. Fits in the budget. And Cleveland, if they hold on to J-Ram, can try to make a run at the Central one more time. Support that pitching. Incredible pitching there in Cleveland. So Garcia bolsters that lineup, gives them something good. Let's see. Daniel, you have Garcia going to the Royals. 2-0 legend, you had it too. Good call. Good call. You see Michael going to the Rangers, Anthony. We are at the Michael Conforto portion of the video. CJ, you have Garcia going to the Marlins. That works. Same logic we had. He could go to the Marlins. And if we do have the Marlins getting Jock Peterson, I don't think Jock Peterson's salary would hamstring Miami from going out and getting Garcia. So yes, as a second team, as a finalist team, no doubt about it. Let's see. Simply missed him out of the stream. What are the reasonings for the Cubs getting McCutchen? Simply, I think they're looking for an in-between guy. This year and maybe next year is an in-between year from the sell-off to going for it again. You bring McCutchen in. He's a good player. He's going to compete. He's going to make it a competitive team, and he can also help bring along the young kids, be a great leader in the clubhouse for the Cubs. Let's see. Where do we go with Conforto? In the chat. Comment in the chat for Conforto. Where do you see Michael Conforto going? Where's it going? Hit it in the chat. Give me your Conforto prediction. Does he go back to the Mets? Does he end up on a National League East rival? Certainly the Braves could make a play. Certainly, the Phillies, if they don't get Castellanos, could be in the mix for Conforto. Miami could make a play, even with Jock Peterson. Let's go. We've got Conforto to the Pirates. I'm sorry. I'm such a dick for doing that. Let's see. Castellanos to Phillies, Texas. Padres from Siciliano. CJ Awesome. Calhoun stays with the D-backs. Ham-Fan Rangers. Thomas Reds. I don't think the Reds are going to spend a dime. I think they're going to keep selling off. Let's see. Cletus Mariners. Mets talk with Hayden. Conforto to the Mariners. 2-0 legend Milwaukee. We got more Mariners. I don't think the Mariners are going to do it. The Mariners have their outfield set. There's no room for them. Conforto to the Tigers. Could. That's a decent play. When I was giving my thought out, I thought the Tigers could do it. Let's see. Yankees to get Conforto. The A's for Conforto. Let's see. Junior. Sorry if I missed half the stream. Do you have Chris Taylor to the Rockies? He would be a perfect fit for the White Sox. I do have him for the Rockies because I think the White Sox, they got Tim Anderson in short, and I think the White Sox are going to make a push for Eduardo Escobar. So if they have Escobar, that outfield is full. You have Escobar at second. The infield is full. So there you go. That is my reasoning for the White Sox. So I think the Rockies are sort of a Chris Taylor. It's an odd fit, but something odd is going to happen. And I think we can all agree about that. Everybody hit that like. You guys, listen, when we have a good chat like this going, you guys are incredible. We are at 146 viewers. You guys are awesome. You guys are all legends for taking time out of your day and hopping in here and joining this chat. I appreciate it. We do this every day at 11 o'clock, so make sure to come back. We are doing pictures. I have to be off tomorrow, but on Monday, we're going to do this for the starting pitchers. And then on Tuesday, we're going to do it for the relief pitchers. So make sure to subscribe so you're there and you hit the alert so you know when we're coming back. I do have the face cam. We've got the player board. Hi. We got the player board. The player board is the show right now, not me. Let's see. Kutch will go back to Pittsburgh for 2 years to retire. I think Kutch very well could end up with Pittsburgh, but I think maybe in one more year. I do think McCutchen could very well wind up back in Pittsburgh for 1 year. Let's see. Anthony, have you already done the predictions for the bigger free agents like Story, Correa, and Seager? I have. We did shortstop the other day. And what did I do? For shortstop, I had Correa going to Detroit. I had Seattle getting Trevor Story. I had the Mets getting Javi Baez. I had the Dodgers getting Seager. I had Miami getting Marcus Semien. And I had Houston getting Andrelton Simmons. There's a quick recap on what we did with the shortstops. But that video is up. It is up. It is under the offseason outlook for shortstops. And you can hop in there, check that out. You can hear more of an in-depth reason. Devin, I get that a lot. The whole Justin Verlander thing. Yes, I know. Yes. My showcase the other day went really well. I was cranking them at 94. Hi, guys. Justin Verlander here. Just hopping in. I kicked Jim out of the way. Yeah, that showcase was pretty badass, wasn't it? 94, 97. I threw 7 innings in 2020. I didn't even throw anything last year, but I was firing them bitches in there. 94, 97. I'm a badass, and I'm going to make $30 million this year. Sorry, guys. That was Justin Verlander making a little cameo. Devin, I get that a lot. I don't know. I never got it until I started streaming, and people were like, you look like Justin Verlander. So, yeah, anyway. You like McCutchen to the Orioles, Richard? That could happen. Orioles sort of could be looking for some vets. Orioles, actually, their outfield with Austin Hayes. They can put Trey Mancini out there. They got Santander. They got Cedric Mullins. The Orioles outfield is actually set, which is crazy. The Orioles outfield, that's the only thing about their team that is set. And Nicholas, you can't unsee it now? Yeah, it's crazy, right? Everybody, make sure to hit that like. Hit that like if you are hanging out with us here. We have 52 likes. I would love to jump into the 60s. So if you haven't hit that like yet, hit that like. Let's get this thing up there. All right. Dominguez on pace for 2024 debut. With the Yankees, Jason Dominguez, I think so, right? Isn't that about the track? I don't think we'll see him next year. Could be 2023. Let's get to Conforto. Sorry, guys. I got totally distracted. Let's get back to Michael Conforto. I think Michael Conforto, they end up working it out. I think Conforto ends up back with the Mets. I think they end up working out a multi-year deal. There is a good chance that the Mets are able to bring back Conforto and Javi Baez. So I'm going to bring Conforto back to the Mets. I can't see with the Mariners. I can't see it because I think the Mariners, you got Haniger, you got Kyle Lewis, you got Kelnick there right now. Plus you got J-Rod. I don't know. Do we think Taylor Trammell is trash at this point? So I don't think that. I just don't see Seattle dumping a ton of money in to a situation with Michael Conforto. Let's see, Cletus, I don't think you go on with Correa, Story, or Seager. They all bring something different to the table. Story down year was 100% him playing it cool. He can stay healthy for free agency. Yeah, what you're going to get from Trevor Story is everything you got before this past year. Mets talk with Hayden. You're with me on that one. It feels like the move. We got, and again, when I'm putting these together, there are domino effects, okay? I have Conforto on the Mets because I'm giving the Braves Starling Martay. I have Conforto not on the Phillies because I have Castellanos going to the Phillies. The Phillies are not going to get Castellanos and Conforto. I don't see that happening. We still have another Brave to give out, so I don't see the Braves getting Martay, the next guy, and Conforto. There's a domino effect. There's a thought process here to that. All right, let's see. Yankees getting Seager or Correa, maybe Simeon. I think Siciliano, I like the idea of Seager with the Yankees. If I'm picking anybody that could go to the Yankees, the idea of Corey Seager going to the Yankees, being the shortstop, they can address that. They can move Gleyber Torres to second. They wouldn't necessarily have to trade him. First baseman, you probably have LeMahieu or Voit. And then at third base, I guess you can move LeMahieu over to third if you want Voit at first, and then you have Urshela. It kind of comes together with Seager in LA. I think it's a cleaner path for Seager to go to New York. I think I just said LA. I meant to say New York. I think it's a cleaner path than Correa. Junior, you have Conforto to Seattle. There's a lot of love for Conforto to Seattle. I'm really surprised about that. I don't see it. Did somebody tweet it and I missed it? I really think that'd be a long shot. I think that you've got Kelnick, you've got Kyle Lewis, and you've got Haniger right now with J-Rod coming up soon. I don't see it. I do not see Conforto to Seattle. Let's keep going. Cole Calhoun. Cincinnati losing Conforto, needs an outfielder. I think Calhoun gets a change of scenery and he makes the move to Cincinnati. Simply Fog, thank you for the super chat. It's going to hit. There it is. There's the sound. Simply Fog, thank you for the super chat. You dig the predictions. Great content. Keep it up. Thank you very much, Simply Fog. I'm glad that you found us today. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. So if this is your first time here, welcome. And I'm glad you found us. Thank you. So we got Conforto to the Reds. We're going to keep him out of Arizona. I think he's going to go somewhere else. Let's go to Jorge Soler. Let's see. We've got teams that need an outfielder. We've still got the Brewers. We've got the Braves. We've got the Diamondbacks left. Now, just because you need an outfielder doesn't mean you're going to get one of these guys. Remember, we could have done 4 more pages of players with all the outfielders that are available. So, some of these teams might address it in other ways. I think Soler goes back to the Braves. I think that the Braves bring Starling Martay in. They bring Soler in. That would leave room for them to still try to develop and give a spot, give some at-bats to Christian Pache, give some at-bats, give a spot to Drew Waters. I think they can make that work. I think Soler will be your DH. So exactly, Apple. So this is what I'm thinking. I think you go Acuna in right, you go Martay in center, you go left field. That's where you can give Waters. That's where you can give Pache the run. And your DH is Jorge Soler. So I put Soler back with Atlanta. The dude caught fire when he went to Atlanta. So something just works with Jorge Soler and Atlanta. Whether he likes his teammates, he likes the batter's eye, he likes being in Atlanta. Whatever he does, I think Soler loves it in Atlanta, and he wants to get a deal done. So I think Atlanta makes out. They get the big defensive upgrade, the center fielder, Starling Martay, and Soler is your DH. They have to move on from Rosario. They have to move on from Duvall because they can't bring everybody back. But if they come out of this offseason with something like that, a Martay and Soler package, I think they're in good shape. There are my Braves picks. And then the last one, Kris Bryant. Pache playing center if he plays. I know you. So here's the thing. That's a good call, Richard. I'm sorry. Impractically perfect. That's a good call. What you can do, Christian Pache is going to play wherever he's going to play at this point to get at bats, to get in the lineup. I don't think he cares if he plays left, center, or right. So he could start. He could just to get in the lineup. They could move him to left. And then Starling Martay. We talked about Martay. I think he's going to be 33 this year. Starling Martay is not going to be a center fielder. If he gets a 4-year deal from Atlanta, there's a good chance by the end of that deal, he's not the center fielder anymore. Pache can move over to center field. CJ's awesome. You have Bryant to San Francisco. Give me your Bryant predictions. Pedro has him to the Mets. Cletus has him to the Mets or the Mariners. Cletus has Mets or Mariners. Where's the Mariner love coming from? Guys, listen, Mariners fans, you guys pushing the Mariners, I love it. I just don't see it. That does not mean anything. Things have happened that I don't see. But, fair. If that's what you're thinking, it's fair. Hyped Square, you have Mets. Pedro, Giants won't spend big money on Bryant. I agree with you. Let's see. Yankees from Castiano. Love to have Kris Bryant. B2TB, I love the idea of Martay coming because he's a beast. But I also don't want to lose Eddie. He loves playing for Atlanta. I know. It's a tough call. I think Atlanta will be into it down to the wire with Rosario. Hamfan, you've got Brewers. Richard, you have him to the Red Sox. Keep them coming. Where do you have Kris Bryant going? We're going to give Kris Bryant just a second. Hit that like. Hit that like. Let's see. What are we at? Hit that like if you haven't already. We're at 65. Can we get to 75? At 75, I will throw up. I will put up. At 100, I'll throw up. At 75, I will put Kris Bryant up. We will put the team. So let's get this thing to 75 likes. We move it along. We get our prediction. Tom, you have him to the Brewers. Siciliano, maybe the Phillies. Siciliano, I really think the Phillies are going to be in the mix for Bryant, for Castellanos, and for Anthony Rizzo. I think they only get one of them. I think the Phillies only get one of those three. But I think they will be in the mix. They have to make that upgrade. They have to surround Bryce Harper with more so that they can make that push. KB, now, so here's the thing, Ian. We talked about Kris Bryant yesterday in the third base. It's certainly wherever he goes, that's a thought. He could be the third baseman. Where of the teams that we have, third base, who could also use a third baseman? Let's see. What are we at with the likes? As soon as we get 75, we're moving on. We're at 77, so we're moving on. I am going to put Kris Bryant. Mets fans, don't hate me. I'm going to put Kris Bryant on the Brewers. Falls in line with what I've been saying now for at least a week or so. Kris Bryant could play third base. The Brewers need a third baseman. Brewers also could use the outfield assistance, the outfield help. I think Kris Bryant could play outfield. He could play third. His versatility will be in full bloom with the Milwaukee Brewers. In the Phillies, not so much. You got Alec Boehm, who could be your third baseman for at least another year or two. The Mets, you could see the case for the Mets. But here's the thing, Mets fans. Don't hate me. Michael Conforto, I think, is going back, and I think Javi Baez is going back. The Mets they have a lot of money, but the Mets do not have the money to go and get Conforto, to go and get Baez, and then to bring back pitching. Kris Bryant, the reason I think he goes to the Brewers, they have the pitching. They can make a deep playoff run if they have the bats to support the pitching. So Kris Bryant goes to Milwaukee to support. They're ready to make a deep run with their starting rotation and with that bullpen, they need the lineup to support it. With Avisail Garcia opting out, he might not be back. In this scenario here, we have him going to Cleveland. So Bryant is the fix for Milwaukee to give them that performance, that versatility, everything that Milwaukee needs to try to make a push and get to the playoffs and make a run in the playoffs. Chris Bryant to the Milwaukee Brewers is the way to go, in my opinion. So, unfortunately, it kind of takes Pittsburgh and Arizona. They're going to have to go deeper into that outfield bin to fill the needs, and I think that's what they probably will do. Again, Pittsburgh, one day we probably see McCutchen finish up with Pittsburgh for a season or something like that. And certainly Cole Calhoun could wind up back with Arizona and not with Cincinnati, but I think Arizona might go in another direction. Soler would be $100 million. Yeah, Soler is going to be cheaper than Bryant for sure. So we go there. Guys, you guys support the channel. I say this all the time. You guys support the channel. You guys are a big part of you guys are the channel. We're at 83 likes. We are 17 away from 100. We have not reached 100 likes live on this show while we're live yet, but we're 17 away. We are close. So if you haven't hit that like yet, love to make that jump to 100. We have not hit the 100 like count live. You guys could be a part of that. If there's 17 of you that have not hit the like yet, we're going to talk trades next. We're going to dive into trades. We're not done. We still have to talk trades. Outfield is absolutely ridiculous. We still have to talk trades. So we're going to dive into trades. We're 13 likes away from 100. We are so close. I have to give the countdown. We're 10 likes away. Let's get this thing to 100. Guys who've been here, big boy, good to see you in. The Cubs don't need McCutchen. I think the Cubs bring in McCutchen because he's a nice veteran piece. The Cubs are not going to throw the season away. Big boy, I think we were talking about this yesterday. The Cubs are not going to just forfeit the season. They're going to make a move. I think McCutchen or somebody like McCutchen is a nice move for the Cubs there. What are we at? What's the countdown at? 97. We're 3 away. We are 3 likes away from getting to 100. Bryant back to the Cubs. That will be the day. If the Cubs were ready to turn around and win, I wouldn't be surprised if one of the players that was traded does wind up back with the Cubs. I wouldn't be surprised. All right, so let's get to the trades. Let's talk about, and we can take the player board down. Anybody want to keep looking at the player board? We can come back to the player board at the end. But these are really the top free agents that are out there in that spot. Let's get to potential trades. That's what's next, because after that, what's the best way to follow it up? And we got to talk about some trades. So let's dig into this. First thing we're going to talk about, who are the players that could get dealt? And we have a new sub, Bernie De Leon. Thank you for the sub. Let's talk potential trades here. Where do we even start? There's so many players that can be traded. We are 99 likes away, by the way, everyone. One more like. All right. Here are the players. We're going to focus on a couple of them, but players that specifically I think are in the mix to get traded. The Blue Jays have a couple of players that could get dealt. Really, it boils down to if they make a move with Cleveland or if they're trying to upgrade with their pitching. They have 4 outfielders right now. One of them is expendable. I think it could be Lourdes Gurriel Jr., it could be Randall Grichuk. One of those two could be on the way out. And really, it boils down to, is that a move they make with Cleveland? And we are at 100. Robert Mateo with the call out that we have made it to 100. You guys, 104. You're awesome. Like I said, we have not reached 100 likes live during the show yet. We have done it today. You're all amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys have Ballcap Nation, and you have this stream running strong today. So thank you for that. So we have Gurriel or Grichuk could go, and I think their likely destination could be Cleveland or Cincinnati. I still think Cincinnati, I think they might trade Nick Senzel. I think that's a real possibility. I think David Peralta could get traded. I think Kevin Kearmeyer could be traded. Does Byron Buxton get traded? Does that finally happen? Does that go down? We're going to talk about it. Let's dig into the very first one. Let's talk about Byron Buxton. Could Byron Buxton be on the move? And who would want to get into the Byron Buxton business? I think almost everybody. One of the troubles with Byron Buxton is that he keeps getting hurt. So if you see Byron Buxton getting traded, where's it going? Cletus, my thoughts on Melvin signing with the Padres? I think he was genius. I love it. Everyone is off work. Right on. Everyone is off work. Thank you, guys. I'm glad you're spending some time off here. Had to join late. Did you already say where you thought Suzuki could end up? I have not talked about Suzuki. We talked about really the main outfield prospects. Buxton declined the qualifying offer. Toronto has 4 guys. Buxton's not a free agent, though. Whoa. No, Buxton still has... Buxton is a... Let me look. No, I'm going to look. I'm pretty sure Buxton's still there. Bear with me, guys. 2 seconds. I'm going to look it up. I remember looking this up last year. Byron Buxton has 1 more year. That was the whole thing, is that Minnesota wanted to try to extend him before he entered his final year, which I believe is this year. Let's double check that. Yep, final year of arbitration for Byron Buxton is this year. So we could see Byron Buxton get dealt. Where's it going? Where do you think he makes the most sense? I mean, we talked about all of the teams that need an outfielder. Who gets in the mix? Again, here is the mishmash of teams that need an outfielder. Where could Byron Buxton go? The Mets could certainly get in the mix. The Phillies could. I mean, if they make the trade this year, Spot Track has his projected salary at about $7.5 million. So do the Twins trade Buxton now? Because, listen, here's the thing. Minnesota will enter into the 2022 season trying to win, trying to bounce back, trying to get on track, okay? The money they gave to Josh Donaldson last offseason, or 2 off seasons ago, whenever it was, gave you an indication of their window, that they thought they had a 4-year window to compete with the pieces they had before Buxton became a free agent, before Barrios became a free agent. They let Rosario go, but you got Kepler's going to be a free agent eventually. You're transitioning to the younger guys with Kirilloff and Larnach and things like that. But they could be in a spot where if Buxton next year is the final year, he did not extend, he did not re-up. So if Buxton is in his final year, and what if he gets hurt? What if he gets hurt? And then he just walks and you get nothing for him. Buxton is good. Yes, he is. And I think there's a very good chance that the Twins will start the season with Buxton. In my opinion, Byron Buxton will be on the Twins roster on opening day. But will Byron Buxton be on the Twins roster on August 1st of 2022? I don't think so. I think Byron Buxton ends up getting traded. Maybe not this offseason, but I think Byron Buxton gets traded at the deadline. Explain arbitration. So it's service time. It is one of the things that was laid in when the owners and the players were working out players being able to become free agents. This goes way back to Marvin Miller when players were fighting to get out of that clause where basically they went to a team and they were there for life. So arbitration is sort of an extension of that old school rule where you get to keep your player, you can decide how much they make, you can do all that. Now there is a third party arbiter that comes in because with arbitration, a player can say, you know what, I'm worth this much. Like, let's look at this for example. Byron Buxton, Spot Track had him at $7.5 million. You go to arbitration. Now teams can try to work out a deal before arbitration because once you go to arbitration and you have that third party deciding for you, Buxton's going to say, this is why I was awesome. And the Twins are basically going to say, no, this is why you suck. And this is why you're not getting that much money. If you go to arbitration, it's because you disagree on the money. Byron Buxton wants 10, the Twins want to give him 7, and then they end up going to arbitration, and there's a third party. Both sides make their case, and the third party makes the decision. Now, that only goes, for some players, it's 3 years, but it depends on service time. When they call you up, this is why you see teams wait until the magic deadline. There's a date. It's a month after the season starts, essentially, where you can call up a player, start the service time, and try to get a 4th year of arbitration. Chris Bryant went through this with the Cubs, where they messed with his service time. He ended up having 4 years of arbitration. Most have 3, but he ended up having 4. Vladdy has 4. So you have teams trying to manipulate the service time to end up with 4, and that's that's, I guess, the best way I can try to explain arbitration for you. Minnesota does need a starting pitcher. That is for sure. Anthony, Ballcap, I have a trade for you. Yankees get Pablo Lopez and Trevor Rogers. Marlins get Jason Dominguez, Austin Wells, and Trey Sweeney. I think that'd be too much to give up. Jason Dominguez, I think, is untouchable. I think you would have to be trying to get like Sixto Sanchez back. I like where your head's at, Anthony. I like where you're going with that, but I think that might be too high. Big boy, right. Exactly. I agree with you on that. So, we have Byron Buxton could be on the move. There is, I think, at some point, he declined the extension. I mean, that's the thing. How do you, Bricks and Ja? I don't know how to say your name on here. I'm trying. What are your thoughts? They're not trading Buxton because he plays. So, but he doesn't want to be there, right? Would you rather see him through, and then you don't have him back? He walks for nothing. What would you rather do? That's the situation that you could be in. He declined it. The Twins don't want to throw a ton of money on him because Buxton keeps getting hurt. Byron Buxton is a fascinating case for those reasons. Buxton would have had a monster year if he didn't get hurt. I know. Byron Buxton's awesome. I really like Byron Buxton. When I play MLB The Show, Byron Buxton is one of my I kill it with Byron Buxton. But in real life, just watching him play center field, the speed, the power, he's great. Byron Buxton is a fascinating case. Is a fascinating case because of the injuries, because of the money, because there's a lot that goes into it. What happens with Byron Buxton is going to be interesting to watch. Honestly, I just want to be happy to see him on the field, even though I know that's the dumb move. I know sometimes we love a player, our favorite player. We want to hope that he does resign, that he has a monster year this year. The Twins changed their tune. He's healthy all year long. The Twins make a run, and they're like, we got to keep Buxton because if we want to win again, we need him on our team. I don't know if the Twins start out and they're struggling, they might move on. If the Twins, I talked about it the other day, the Twins, if they have a season like the Cubs did, where they start out, they're not really making a push, and they could see that this isn't working out, they could go into a massive trade-off mentality, and Buxton could be on the move for that. Let's see, Leinart, qualifying offers will be taken out of the next CBA. I would love for qualifying offers to go away. The injury prone is the hard part. That's the hard part. That's what the Twins are looking at with giving him a long-term deal, and that's what other teams are looking at if they're looking to trade him. Let's see. I'm just reading some of your comments. Let's get to, so Buxton is probably the big one. A's or Giants for Buxton. It could work. He works almost anywhere. All those teams that we talked about that need an outfielder, he works pretty much anywhere. It's just, does that team, what do they want to give up? Another intriguing name is this guy, Kevin Kearmeyer. Do the Rays trade Kevin Kearmeyer? The way the Rays operate is when a guy starts to get to a certain age and the contract gets to a certain level, they enter that trade bait situation. And the Rays have a good outfield situation. They have deep outfield. I have a feeling that Kevin Kearmeyer, there were some whispers last offseason. I think there very well could be some traction to that this year. He's going to make $12 million in 2022. There's a club option for $13 million in 2023. I think the Rays might be ready to move on. He's entering his age 32 season, still plays a good defense, and we talked about all the teams that need an outfielder. Kevin Kearmeyer, though the bat isn't that hot, right? He's a 230 hitter, but he'll give you a little bit of pop, 10 to 15 homers maybe. He's not a completely dead stick, but you're getting his bat. If the Braves don't get Starling Martay in that scenario we ran through, do they trade with the Rays and go get Kearmeyer and basically just run Kearmeyer for 2022 and 2023 and then move on? If they don't want to make maybe a 4 or 5 year commitment with Starling Martay, they make a 1 year commitment to Kevin Kearmeyer, and then if he can't play, the club option has a $2.5 million buyout. You move on from Kevin Kearmeyer. If you're Atlanta, the fact that Kevin Kearmeyer has relatively for teams that are in win now mode that aren't afraid to spend money, Kevin Kearmeyer has a very attractive salary and plays a great center field. So you have Kevin Kearmeyer, $12 million this year, and then if he does well for you, you can have him next year for $13 million. And then when he's turning 34, maybe when he's getting to the point where his defense is not as attractive of a quality, you move on. You let him go. If you don't want to make a multi-year splash with somebody else, you can do a Kevin Kearmeyer situation, make that trade. You shouldn't have to give up a whole lot. Matthew Carr, Phillies could be a possibility to trade for Kevin Kearmeyer. They totally. I love that, Matthew. I had not thought about that. Good call. Love that idea. Chase, you want the Phillies to get Kearmeyer badly. I think that's a great play. I think the Phillies could have a scenario where they have Castellanos in left, Harper in right, and Kevin Kearmeyer in center. Let's see, Adam Schefter. Cam Newton. Okay, Cam Newton's going back to the Panthers. Sorry, random note. I thought that might have been something else. Yeah, I'm basically just watching my Twitter alerts because something's going to happen soon, right? Like somebody's signing, something big is going to happen. Right now, Heyman and Passan and all those guys are basically just, John Heyman tweeting 2 minutes ago, Marlins met with Miami native Nick Castellanos' agent, Scott Boras. Good fit for that team. Hard to see them affording him. More likely they acquire multiple hitters that cost somewhat less. John Heyman with a tweet about the Marlins meeting with Castellanos' agent, Scott Boras. So there you go. There's that. Doesn't really mean much. So, but I think Kevin Kearmeyer is going to be one of the more interesting pieces that could be on the move this offseason via trade. He's getting to that point with the Rays where they're going to maybe try to get the most out of him. The Rays are in a situation where the depth chart, they're deep in that outfield spot. They have a lot of options. They have their defense. They have a lot of options. But, just thinking about the depth chart, you got Randy Arozarena, you got Manny Margot, you got Brett Phillips, you got Austin Meadows, you've got options, and you've got prospects that'll be on the way. So you could roll with the Arozarena, Meadows, and Margot if you wanted to. You could slide Phillips in there. So you would take a hit on the depth that they would have. Losing Kearmeyer would take one out of the equation, but I think they could make that work. And with some of the cheaper outfield free agents that'll be available, you can go and get that fourth or fifth outfielder on the free agent market, and you're not spending as much money. Where I do not have any, I have not looked into Suzuki yet. I started to see some of the tweets for that. I have not looked into Suzuki yet. I will. I need to look into him though. Yeah, Marlins just keeping tabs on it. With the Marlins having depth in terms of pitching, what team do you think we can trade to get offensive prospects or major league ready power bat? I think the Yankees are fit. I think that there's a chance that maybe there's Gleyber Torres. I am going to do a video. I'll give you guys a little teaser preview. I am going to work on a video. I've pretty much recorded it. I just need to edit it. It'll probably go up tomorrow. Long shot trades. And one of my long shot trades is an Aaron Judge trade. He's not. I don't have him here in this situation because I think it's a long shot. I want to talk about some realistic trades that can happen here that I think are really, really make sense. Aaron Judge is a long shot trade, but I think Aaron Judge long shot to Miami, you could find a way for that to make sense for both sides. And I'll talk about that in a video, in an upload that I'm going to do. Again, if I can get it done tonight, it'll go up tonight. Otherwise, it'll go up tomorrow. Jason, thank you so much. We're trying to grow. We're trying to get this thing. We're making the push to 12K. We've had about 1,000 new subscribers in the last 5 or 6 days. So you guys are driving it. I appreciate that. We are pushing strong. So I appreciate you guys. You're the driving force. So thank you. Correa is a really good fit with the Phillies. He could be. Do they go that route? I'm thinking about Correa to the Phillies. I've been so fixated on the Phillies making an outfield play that I hadn't even thought about them for a shortstop move. But it's a good call. Siciliano, bye-bye, Glaber, and Voit. Yeah, I mean, there you go. I think you could very easily see, Glaber, Voit, one of those two, both of them, if the prospects going back to New York makes sense, going to Miami, because Miami is going to get the DH next year. Luke Voit could be your first baseman, and they could move Jesus Aguilar to DH. No updates on the Tigers, Harley. No update. We talked about the Tigers in our board. Anybody that might just be hopping in and wasn't here in the beginning, put the player board back up. We had the Tigers getting Mark Canna in our prediction palooza. We had Canna going to the Tigers. Again, a quick recap for anybody that was not here earlier. Canna, Detroit, Schwarber, Boston, Rosario, San Diego, Pham to Texas. Hold on. John Heyman, Yankees are once again open to acquiring a catcher to replace Gary Sanchez, but the catching market is much thinner this year than last. Yeah. What? Sometimes tweets just mean nothing. What does that mean? Catching market is thin. No, that John Heyman just wasted my time. Anyway, so Peterson to Miami, Dickerson to Washington, Martay to Atlanta, Duvall to San Fran, Taylor to Colorado, Brett Gardner retiring. Maybe Brett Gardner goes to Miami. Half of a retirement. Pilar, Oakland, Castellanos, Philly, Garcia, the Cleveland whatevers. The Mets get Conforto back, Calhoun to the Reds, Soler to the Braves, and Bryant to the Brewers was all that we put together. I don't see the Mets keeping Baez. They'll sign Bryant. I think they could. I think the Mets can get Baez. And I talked about it yesterday in the shortstop stream. Listen, the guy went to New York and performed. How many times do you worry about a guy being able to make it in New York? And Baez did it. He thrived. He was even so bold as to give the fans the thumbs down. I understand that was a blown out of proportion thing, but the dude thrived. He gives the fans the thumbs down, and then the next day, when you expect him to get booed mercilessly, he comes out, Javi Baez, and wins the fans back. So, I think Javi Baez, I think you need to bring him back to the Mets. He wants to play with Francisco Lindor. He thrived in New York. He did very well. I think he can do it. Barullo doesn't agree with Castellanos to Phillies. That's okay. We do not have to agree. We can learn new things about one another by disagreeing. I had not thought about an idea with the Phillies for Correa, but I'm thinking about it. It makes sense. We got a lot of people with the Mariners wanting an outfielder. I didn't see that, but I'll think about it. Hey, man, I do not expect everybody to agree with me. Let's see. Raisel Iglesias to replace Diaz. Iglesias is definitely the best closer out there. Let's see. Bricks and Ja. I feel like Verlander will go to the Dodgers. If he goes to the Dodgers, that means... I think we know Kershaw's probably not going back at this point. Do the Dodgers run out a Scherzer and Verlander-led rotation? I don't know. I think there's a very good chance Verlander ends up with the Yankees. Mets need to prioritize coaching. Santee City, I'll read the rest of that. Prioritize coaching because the free agent players will probably have reservations in signing, given that scenario. The Mets need to get that front office situation lined up. they're going to fall behind. I understand that they can still, Sandy Alderson can still try to make moves, but yes, there are going to be, you know it. Think about it. The agents that they're contacting, the players that they're contacting, you're like, well, who are you going to have for, who's your coach going to be? Who's going to be your president of baseball operations? Like, what direction is the club going to be headed? So I don't think that it will prevent them from signing free agents, but it sets them back from being able to get into it. 2-0 legend. Dude, I was messaging with my boy Wardy. Shout out for Wardy NYM. I was messaging with him. I was talking with him about, you guys should get Gibby. Gibby is the play. John Gibbons with the Mets. Dude, if things go sour against the Phillies, he'll go over there and start a fist fight with Joe Girardi. He ain't taking no shit. John Gibbons is the play. I would love it for you guys, for the Mets to get John Gibbons. Two things. I want John Gibbons back in baseball. And if the Mets want to make a move, the Mets want to get a manager who can win, who has experience, John Gibbons is your guy. Bam, you can't stand Gibby. He grows on you, though, man. I didn't like him in the beginning, and quite frankly, when Gibby went back to the Blue Jays for that second run, I had my head in my hands. I'm like, what are we doing? And he won me over. John Gibbons backs down to nobody, and he ain't afraid to get into a fight with his pitcher on the mound. The Ted Lilly situation. I love John Gibbons. I think that's the play. So we were talking about trading Kearmeyer. I'm sorry, guys. And then the other piece, guys, and maybe, God, I don't know, man. This is a tricky one because I don't know about you guys, but I praise the Lord. I praise the Lord every day, 2 times on Sunday. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Is he on the move? Do the Blue Jays dangle him? Would it fracture the clubhouse if the Blue Jays traded Lourdes Gurriel Jr.? I think that there are teams that would line up to go and get Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Is he the piece that gets a deal done with the Cleveland, whatever you want to call them, franchise? Is he the piece that gets it done? I don't think Randall Grichuk can get it done. You're going to have to throw in you have to give him an extra top 5 prospect. I don't know if Randall Grichuk gets it done. Randall Grichuk is a good baseball player, but he's got more money attached to him. He's a little bit older. I think with Lourdes Gurriel, there's more enticement with Lourdes Gurriel Jr. So do the Jays trade Lourdes Gurriel Jr.? Is Gurriel the piece that Cleveland wants in a Jose Ramirez trade? Is Gurriel the piece that Cincinnati would want in a trade for Luis Castillo? Because that's the thing. Some of these teams that have these pieces, they don't want to take on a guaranteed multi-year salary like Randall Grichuk has. They would like the deal that Gurriel has. So I think that Lourdes Gurriel is an interesting piece there for a trade. Now, will it happen? Again, my question is, does it fracture the clubhouse? He has a tremendous relationship with Vladdy and Bo, and we want to keep those guys happy. If you ask me, I would love to have Lourdes Gurriel Jr. A part of a team that one day wins a championship along with Bo and Vladdy and all of those guys. I'm just typing something here. I would love for him to be a part of that. If Toronto can win a title with the 4 guys that I'd love to see them win a title with are Cavan, Bo, Vladdy, and Gurriel. So here's the deal with Lourdes Gurriel Jr. $4.5 million in 2022. $5.4 million in 2023. That's a steal. And then he has an arbitration year in 2024. His final arbitration year in 2024. So Lourdes Gurriel Jr., that salary is incredible. And yes, we're talking about his age. He is entering his age 28 season. He is in the prime of his career. He's an amazing piece. I hope that if Toronto can get a deal done for J-Ram, I hope that they can keep Gurriel on the team. But Lourdes Gurriel Jr. might be the most attractive piece. Thinking about Teoscar Hernandez, he's another one that could be an interesting piece. Teoscar Hernandez, next year is his final year of arbitration, and next year, so he will be an unrestricted free agent at the age of 31. So I think the fact that Gurriel, you have a couple of years and then you have arbitration, really cheap, $4 and $5 million for this year, and then for the following year, and then arbitration. Woo, Gurriel. Brady Johnson has just subscribed. Thank you, Brady. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. Thank you for joining this community that we are building. Make sure to hit the like if you are hanging out and you haven't hit the like yet. If this is new for you, if you're just finding the channel, be sure to subscribe. Live at 11 a.m. is what we've been doing for a few weeks now. The plan is to continue that. There will be a shift, and when there's a shift, I'll let you guys know, because I do want to start doing some evening streams. We're going to have to work in some streams in the evening, make 2 days a week. So we may do 3 days a week at 11, and then 2 days a week at night. So we'll figure it out. But make sure you come in, you hit the alert, and stay close. We just had another tweet. John Heyman, Phillies are interested in Starling Martay, the top center fielder on the market. Many in on him, but this one is one of the better fits. John Heyman dangling that the Phillies are interested in Martay. Yes, the Phillies are going to be interested in all of the top outfielders until they finally sign one of them, and then they will be interested in just pitching. CJ is awesome. Jays need to keep Lourdes. He's very underrated. I would love for them to keep it up. We do have what we got. What was that, Robert? 125 watching, 125 likes. That's a nice ratio right there. We talk about ratios. That's a nice one. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Let's see. Blue Jays need to move Randall to free up some salary, then get back end rotation piece and a first base backup. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to pick an outfielder to move just because of the salary, Randall would be the piece. You know, I like Randall Grichuk. I actually feel like I have been on the Randall Grichuk bandwagon more consistently than many Blue Jay fans. Randall Grichuk will go 0 for 4, and half of Blue Jays Nation will want him traded before he can even get to the bus to head back to Toronto. I guess maybe I'm a little bit more patient with Randall. So I think Randall, my opinion, I think he has trade value with what he can do on the field. But the problem is, I think the salary is what makes him the piece to try to move first. But I like Randall Grichuk. And I will say this. I want to maybe make a disclaimer. Anybody that I talk about trading when I dive into prospects, it should almost be looked at like a good thing, because I think that player is good enough to go and get a superstar back. I never want anybody, like I talk about Jordan Groshans being traded from Toronto all the time. I like Jordan Groshans. It has nothing to do with me thinking, we got to get Jordan Groshans out of the thing. He's never going to be good. We got to move on from him. I like Jordan Groshans. I just think that he's that good that he could be in a return for J-Ram. Shorty D17, thank you for subscribing to Ballcap Sports. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. I appreciate you. Randall is fourth outfielder, hardly worth anything. I mean, he's a DH. He played a lot of center field. He's a good, and listen, Randall Grichuk, you can't sneeze at his center field play. I actually like Randall Grichuk in center field. He's made some nice plays out there in center field. You know, Springer is the center fielder, but Springer's got to be healthy. Grichuk ended up being an important piece because you had the Springer injury, and what if Springer can't play center field? It would be terrible if Springer is hamstrung and has to be a DH, and therefore you need to, whatever you do, you need to make sure you have a center fielder because you can't play Springer because he keeps getting hurt. So that's an interesting piece there. Anthony, I had the Blue Jays getting Pablo Lopez and Sandy Alcantara, and the Marlins getting Jordan Groshans, Gurriel. The Blue Jays might need to actually... No, that's a decent trade. That's a decent trade, Anthony. Jonas, where does Schwarber sign with, if not with the Sox, and where could you... Let me read that again. I'm glitching. I apologize. I'm fighting a cold. I'm fighting a cold. Let me read that again. From Jonas, where does Schwarber sign, if not with the Sox? And would you do so or use that for pitching? There's a lot of options for him. If he does not re-sign with the Boston Red Sox, certainly you could see a play for him with almost any National League team because of the DH getting in the mix. So you could see him in the mix with Philly. You could see him in the mix for the Mets, for the Marlins, for the Giants, for the Braves, the Brewers. Schwarber could fit in a lot of spots. And then your other question was the money. The Red Sox, if they get Schwarber, they can't stop there. They need to do something with pitching. They have a lot of prospects. I think maybe they trade, maybe Bobby Dahlbeck is traded. If you bring Schwarber back and he's going to be your first baseman, you might need to trade Bobby Dahlbeck for a pitcher. You could go that way. Mark, you've got Schwarber with the Mets. CJ, as a Cards fan, I just want a left-handed reliever. And there's a few out there. Cameron Correa to the Tigers. I like that. That's my pick. Shai Davidi tweeting, talent is the steak, and I really don't care what time dinner is. When Blue Jays are ready to eat, Scott Boras will be at the table. Who's that from? How Boras and his class of free agents will help shape the Blue Jays offseason. Scott Boras is a character, man. You have to be operating on, 10 isn't even enough. You got to be at like 20 to be some of these agents. Uncle Stevie is enamored with Schwarber. I mean, the Mets could work. Problem is, then you have I understand Schwarber performs better than Dom Smith, at least this past season. Dom Smith looked like he was coming along, but then you kind of have two of those. Are you surprised JD opted into his contract? Not really. I think you could argue that it would have been smart for him to opt out because then he could try to get a multi-year deal. But take the money, go back to Boston, and try to win. I wasn't too surprised. Jason focused on two quality starters and two high-leverage relievers with their biggest needs. Here's the thing, Bam. I think that if Toronto can bring back Robbie Ray, maybe then they go get another pitcher. So here's the Blue Jays rotation. They could go Ray, Ryu, Manoah, Barrios, and Pearson. So there's your 5. And that's all you got to do is bring Robbie Ray back. So really then they're looking for a depth starter, a 6th starter, somebody that is there if there's an injury. So don't spend a lot of money on that guy. So there's your 5 with an extra one. The bullpen, I actually think they can maybe make one bullpen move. I really like what they got, and they can bring back Simber and Richards. Those guys are both arbitration. You got Romano, you got Merriweather, you got Tim Miza. They have the pieces in that bullpen. Maybe they need one lefty, another lefty. I mean, Saucedo was fine. It wasn't great, but it wasn't awful. I think that the Blue Jays bullpen is close. I think maybe one piece. I would actually go the other way. I would say one quality starter after they bring Ray back to add depth, and then one high leverage reliever. And they have to replace Marcus Semion's production. I am a Blue Jays fan. Yes, I'm a Blue Jays fan, and I just want to give myself some credit. Even though I'm a Blue Jays fan, I got no Blue Jays on the board. I do not have the Blue Jays signing a single outfielder out of this spot. Derek, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Let me get this out of the way. Let me read your comment. Thanks for all you do and keep me busy at work. Right on, Derek. Let me know if you have any tips on how to become a stay-at-home dad. I tell you what, like I said, one of these days, if you guys want to do it, we'll do the behind the curtain stream. You can just ask me whatever you want about stuff, and I can tell you about, me, my life. We can have a non-sports stream. We can do What's it called on Twitch? Just chatting? We can do a just chatting stream one of these days. So thank you for the super chat. Some hype in the chat for Derek. And that, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Biggio, a super utility player. I mean, this if Biggio could be second baseman, and if they can make a trade for either Chapman or J-Ram, you have J-Ram at third. You can give Biggio second base back. That's if they don't go and bring Simeon back. Hand is definitely toast, Mark, by the way. If you bring back Ray, that is too. Right. So you get Ray, but I don't think it's like Ray and I'm trying to think of some of the pitchers that are out there. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like they could go get, I'm trying to think of pitchers that are available. You know, yeah, Alex Wood is coming to mind for whatever reason. I don't know why I'm so hung up on Alex Wood. Free agent starting pitchers. I'm looking. Michael Pineda as the sixth guy, as the extra guy. That would be good. Tyler Anderson. So you could go and try to do the John Gray situation. You could try to go and get, Verlander or Descalfani or Gausman or something like that. But that, in my opinion, hurts your chances of replacing that production. They have to try to replace that offensive production. Mark, you think Ray is gone or someone will overpay for him? They very, very well could. They very well could. I think that he should stay. I think he should stay because it was Pete Walker that got him back on track. Stay with Pete Walker. Harley, could you see the Toronto Blue Jays signing? Could I see the Jays signing Carlos Correa? I could see it. I don't necessarily want it, is my feeling on that. I could see it. I don't necessarily want it. If you're in the GM position, who closes for the Red Sox next season? Well, it's funny you should ask that. This is my second plug for an upcoming video, long shot trades. I think Boston, it's a long shot, but they should take a serious look. And this is why YouTube is going to get rid of the dislike button. They should take a serious look at Josh Hader. Okay? Crazy as that sounds. And I'm not trying to ruin any credibility that I have, but Josh Hader keeps getting dangled. Every year it seems like he keeps getting dangled. They want a ton in return for him. The Brewers are in a chance where they're trying to win, so you probably see them keep Hader. But again, this is a long shot situation. But Hader aside, Raisel Iglesias is going to be out there. Go get Iglesias. The Red Sox need to enter into their games next year knowing that the ninth inning is set, locked down, forget about it, and Raisel Iglesias could do that. Yeah, the whole dislike thing. I joked, my buddy Eric from Hum Baby Baseball put out there, I actually didn't see that until he tweeted it, and I told him, I was like, well, you know what? These free agent prediction videos are never going to be the same. Mets will not go near Ray. Yeah, I don't think they will either. What time is it? 12:30. Here's the deal, guys. I got to go pick up some kids. It is an early release day for the kids, and I got a kindergartner and I got a first grade that I got to go get in like 5 minutes. So I got to bounce. This has been awesome. You guys have been amazing today. Thank you so much. Again, I'm off tomorrow, but I will be back Monday, same time, 11 a.m. We'll be back at 11 a.m. on Monday in the East, 8 in the West, and everything in between. I appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure to hit the like on the way out if you haven't hit the like. Subscribe if you're new, just finding the channel. Again, thank you for spending some time today. Keep an eye out. I will have an upload coming soon with my long shot trades. That is next up on the channel. You guys, it was wonderful. This was a great stream. You guys made it happen today. Big stuff. John Heyman tweeting, Anthony Descalfani and the Tigers have interest in Anthony Descalfani. John Heyman just putting out who everyone has interest in. Come on, John Heyman, give us something real. You guys have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Keep an eye out for the upload, And I will talk to you guys at the very latest on Monday. If something crazy happens, I will pop up live if something crazy happens, if there's a trade or a big signing. So stay close to the channel for that. You guys have a good one. Brady, I think that was an interesting decision. We can dive deeper into that when we talk starting pitchers, because we will be talking starting pitchers on Monday. Guys, enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and I will talk to you again soon. Thank you for spending some time with the channel. Thank you for coming into the stream and hanging out, everybody. Have a good one.